Howdy, Fullmetal Cowboy, slinging a vinyl collection video. The first of what I plan to make a series of videos. And in this video, I'm going to be showing off my entire record collection as a 1-year anniversary to the day I got my turntable, which I got it last year on July 24th, 2024. So I felt it was appropriate to do a vinyl collection video 1 year after I got my turntable. So, how did this all begin, you may ask? So, back in high school, I want to say this was my senior year because high school teachers changed between my what do you call it? The year before the senior year. I am sorry that I got that botched up. During my senior year, there was a different teacher compared to the after the previous one had left. And my teacher, during my senior year, had a turntable and decided to bring it to her class, the one I was in. And she brought her turntable, she brought her records for students to listen to. Now that I think of it, no, this turntable was like around since, I want to say, 2 years within my high school years. It's been a long time. So my memory's a little fuzzy on the details of when this turntable was in the school premises. But anyway, the turntable was around, the records were around, so, whenever I had free time, I would go to that record player and just start spinning records because I was kind of fascinated on how that thing worked and, what music was like listening to on that format. And, honestly, I was really drawn into it. I felt there was a certain charm about vinyl that I just felt like, man, this is actually kind of cool. I like the idea of just kicking back and just letting that thing spin, letting that, needle just kind of, move from one place to the, or, from start to finish on the side, slowly. And it was definitely a process that I felt was a very unique experience. And, I have listened to music on multiple formats, over the years, CD, cassette, and of course vinyl. And I may be nostalgic for cassette largely because I used to have a Walkman on me a lot of the time, and this was way before phones had music you can stream on your mobile device. I go way back, but I remember having that Walkman, listening to headphones, just kind of, listen to music while, my parents, did some stuff that I thought was boring, but, important to them. So, there's that. And of course with CDs, my parents had quite the CD collection, not too big, but, a modest CD collection, and, there was some good stuff they got. So, I poured through that CD collection just to kind of, go through what my parents got. And, I bought a couple CDs in the past, and, that was at a time, where CDs were probably the medium that I had the most access to, for the longest time. And, now that I got a turntable, now my preferred format is vinyl. And just because I said that, let me make this abundantly clear. I am not 100% disregarding CDs at all. I do think CDs have their place. And, not every artist releases their music on vinyl. Some are strictly CD. And in some cases, some might just go straight to digital and not even bother with a physical release. Although I do prefer that those artists do physical releases because some people are just sticklers for physical media. I mean, look at me. You can tell that there's some you can tell that there's a set right there that says Queen, so, I mean, go figure. Yeah, that's kind of a dead giveaway. I do have Queen, but I'll show that off in just, eventually. So, but, if there's something that's not on vinyl, but on CD, and let's say I really like that music, I'll get the CD. It's not a big loss for me. In fact, I recently discovered that Weird Al's music was on vinyl, but they are really hard to come by. And if I really want to get some Weird Al on vinyl that badly, I have to fork over over 100 for some releases. So you know what? I'm sure those CDs are floating around on a very reasonable price. I'll just get the CDs for crying out loud. You know, it's not that big of a loss. And if Weird Al somehow decides to repress all his albums on vinyl, well, okay, well, I guess I'm the sucker for getting them on CD then, but I do plan on getting some Weird Al. He's a pretty good musician with a good sense of humor. But, if I ever decide to get some CDs because again the release just isn't on vinyl or at an affordable price or whatnot, let me rephrase what I just said because I'm kind of my mind is kind of going pretty quickly. I think it's because I'm excited to show off my collection. So pardon me. So if a particular album or music release is not on vinyl or is on vinyl but too damn expensive, I will resort to the CD as my secondary format. Case in point, I have the soundtrack to Final Fantasy VI on CD. I doubt that is ever going to get on vinyl, and I'm not even mad that that is likely going to be the case. I am happy that I got the soundtrack on CD because I have the soundtrack physically. I'm actually, here's a good idea. Pixel Remaster soundtrack. Physical release, please. I bought the damn soundtrack digitally. I'll do it again for the physical release. Come on, Square Enix. What are you waiting for? Anyway. Alright, I'm getting a little too excited right now. I want to show off my record collection because I did get myself outer sleeves for my record covers because I'm getting tired of leaving fingerprints on those covers. And I have a crate to finally put these suckers in. About time I got myself this. So, how I'm going to show off the collection is I'm going to go by alphabetical order of artists. I think that's a fair, order to go through. So, let me go let me go grab some records and, let me bag them up, sleeve them up. Alright, so first off is Meet the Beatles. This is the first American Beatles album that was released, and I inherited this album from my mom. It's funny because whenever my mom and I talk about the Beatles, and, whenever this subject matter of American albums come up, she would often say, I think I got that first American Beatles album somewhere in this house. I don't know if it was Meet the Beatles or Introducing the Beatles, but she kept saying she had it somewhere, and lo and behold, it was somewhere in the house, and I found it. And, unfortunately, she passed away before I, was able to tell her, hey, look what I found, And then, honestly, knowing my mom, I'm sure she would have said, oh, you found it! Like, oh, if we only had a turntable to play it on. And I said, well, I got myself one. So, I'm sure if she was still here and, and she didn't have an issue with me having a turntable, I bet she would have felt, nostalgic. over this. So, but anyway, I do believe there were some songs that were from Please Please Me, and I think some songs from With the Beatles were thrown in there as well. So it was kind of a mishmash of songs from Please Please Me with the Beatles, and even a single, because I Want to Hold Your Hand was not in any of their albums. It was released as a single. So, yeah. So, I mean, back in the 60s, it was definitely common to see some British artists having different track listings of albums compared to the original British counterparts. In fact, the Rolling Stones, I recall having a few albums where the order of songs was different. So, yeah. So, yeah, okay. So I'm going to... Oh, goodness. I thought I had this fully open. What is going on here? Give me a minute. Okay, I guess this thing wasn't fully opened. My bad. Okay, well. I'll go ahead and just start sleeving this. I'm also trying to decide how I want to sleeve this. So, okay, this is like very clear. Where's the end? There it is. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the end here and have the what do you call it? The end where you pull out the record to be the side where I want to. That way it's as if I'm, that way I can fish out the record without having to pull the jacket out. That's just going to be my strategy, and oh, look how nice that went. Yeah, okay, I am sorry for the glare, but I'm going to turn that off because that's the ring light that's doing it. But yeah, oh, that feels nice. All right, so we're going to just put that there. All right, so next. Okay, so I do need to provide a bit of an explanation for this because what I'm holding cover-wise is not what, the record in this jacket is not the same as what the cover indicates. So I need to kind of clear up that little confusion. And clearly I inherited this from my mom because she has her last name, or excuse me, her maiden name written down on here. So I'm not going to argue. But okay, so the cover is the soundtrack to the Beatles' Hard Day's Night, but the record inside, and ignore the original master sleeves text on this inner sleeve, because vinyl enthusiasts recommended I get MoFi, record sleeves. But, I'm actually just going to go ahead and just fish this out, so remove the glare. The record actually is... Introducing the Beatles. Yes, the other first American Beatles album. In fact, I think this was the first American pressed Beatles release. Yeah, so there's a bit of a confusion between Meet the Beatles and Introducing the Beatles. Now, Meet the Beatles is technically, like, I guess you could say, the canonized first American Beatles album, but in technicality, Introducing the Beatles was actually the first American release of the Beatles. It's just, in terms of, like, the American catalog, Meet the Beatles was the first in that regard. So, yeah. And I might have got the information wrong, so feel free to correct me. So, alright. So I'm going to go ahead and get that sleeved up. Oh, this is... You know what? This is actually this actually feels nice, having to, kind of sleeve my records and all that. Oh, yeah, there we go. Oh, no! Accidentally fucking shaved off that. Oh, boy. I did not like the look. I mean, yeah, this jacket is kind of shredding little by little, so, I mean... Yeah, and see, I can just kind of, go like that, except the thing like slides off. So, I mean, yeah. All right. So next up, let me see if I got any more. Yeah. Okay. So next up, and this album is fucking great, but it is not the British original pressing. Just so you know, Revolver, one of the best Beatles albums. But I did say that this is not a British pressing. So the reason I say this is because this is an American pressing, a Capitol Records pressing. Let me actually double check and see if that is the case. Yep, Capitol pressing. So why do I bring this into attention? Because the American Capitol pressing has, let me see how many songs we got here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So there are 3 tracks missing from the original pressing, the original release. Let's see. I'm Only Sleeping is missing. Dr. Robert's missing. And I'm trying to remember what was a song from side 2. I cannot remember what song was missing on that one. But yeah. So 3 tracks are missing from the original release. So but you know what? This is what Americans got back in the day. I'm sure it did just fine for Beatles fans in America, but I am so glad this practice of omitting songs because reasons. It's kind of crap. Just out of like, you know, like Brits are getting all the shit and we're missing out on some of it. Like, what the fuck? So yeah, but I mean, it was what it was back in the day. So Revolver, fucking great album, one of the best. It's up there with Sgt. Pepper's, Abbey Road, okay, and maybe most of the White Album. Like, some good shit in there. Definitely, like, one of the best Beatles albums. Yeah, it's great. Also, like, iconic cover, as trippy as it looks. But, I mean, yeah, that was some time ago. So, all right. Next up, and speaking of iconic covers, I mean, it's Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band by the Beatles. I mean, just yeah. So, I do need to make a bit of a note about this particular release of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. This is the 2017 stereo mix, and this is actually the stereo mix that I swear by compared to the original stereo mix that was made back in 1967. The reason I say this is because the way that the sounds are panned left to right, I never liked, and this is actually something that unfortunately plagues the Beatles albums prior to Sgt. Pepper's. Even Magical Mystery Tour has what do you call it? All You Need Is Love panned in a way, and it just never sounds right. This is actually why I'm definitely vouching for the pre-Sgt. Pepper's albums, or excuse me, pre-Revolver albums, getting new stereo mixes, because I seriously think they are due for them. And can I get this in? Oh boy, this is gonna be a bitch. Give me a minute. I'm having some difficulty trying to get this fucker in. Come on. Oh my god. Hold on a second. Will this thing carry gatefolds for single and double LPs? And why the fuck is this thing being a pain in the ass to put in? Shit. Excuse me. Uh, gatefolds, man. This is a double LP. Well, I mean, it's not a double LP. It's a gatefold, but gatefolds are usually are double LPs in some cases. Why is this thing being a pain in the ass? I'm getting a little annoyed. Trying to get this fucker in, and it's this gatefold. It's the fact that this is a gatefold, and my god, this is... Okay. I'm trying everything I can get to get this thing in. Oh my god. Sergeant Pepper, why you gotta do this to me? Okay, you know what? Fuck you. I can't get this fucker in. It's because I'm holding one hand with the sleeve and one hand with the record. This is bullshit. Oh my god. You know what? Hold on. I'm going to move that mic because I think that's in the way too. Okay, come on. Oh, there we go. I managed to get that son of a bitch in. Why was that being a pain in the ass? But yeah, Sergeant Pepper's finally got that bitch in. And yeah, I also got a little few dents because of this. On the sleeve part. I don't care. I can always get more. I can always get another outer sleeve in the future. You know? Okay, so next up, Magical Mystery Tour. I believe I inherited this from my mom. I'm sure because again, she was a big Beatles fan. My dad was too, but I suspect this was my mom's. So Magical Mystery Tour. I heard the film wasn't that good, but the soundtrack, the whatever you want to call this, because this was actually released as an EP first and then an LP later, and I think Americans just got the LP version. So yeah. So yeah, this has, of course, Magical Mystery Tour, Fool in the Hill. Flying's kind of weird. Or was it Blue Jay Way? One of them was like an instrumental track, and it was just strange. Your Mother Should Know's great. I Am the Walrus. Yeah, I love that song. As weird as it is, I love it. And of course, Side 2 has nothing to do with the soundtrack. It's actually just singles. You have Hello Goodbye, Strawberry Fields Forever, Penny Lane. By the way, Strawberry Fields Forever and Penny Lane were actually originally intended to be on Sgt. Pepper's, but because the practice of music releases at the time, or there was some standard at the time where if an album or if a piece of music was released as a single, it wouldn't be released as an album. But of course that has changed because now singles are treated as promotional material these days. But back then, like when the Beatles recorded Strawberry Fields Forever and released as a single, that was it. They were not going to release it as part of an album. And George Martin had said that, you know, he regrets that Strawberry Fields Forever and Penny Lane were not saved for Sgt. Pepper's, because he felt those songs would have fit in nicely with Sgt. Pepper's. And actually, I agree with that. So, yep. So anyway, and also All You Need Is Love is on here too, but it's also in Yellow Submarine, the soundtrack / album. So, yeah, and so was the song Yellow Submarine. Fluffy boy, I hear you, but I'm busy. Yeah, one of these days I need to look into getting sleeves for gatefolds, because there actually do exist gatefold outer sleeves, but they're done in a way where oh, what the shit, did I accidentally fucking tear this one? No, I did not. Oh wait, yes I did. Well, that's one sleeve I tore on accident, but you know what? I got 100 of these things, so you know, shit like that can happen. Okay, so I just gotta put this in carefully. my god. Can you please go in? What the fuck is going on with this shit? I swear these... Wait, yeah, this is a gatefold. I swear, gatefolds are... They say this is for double LPs. I'm calling bullshit. These things don't want to fucking go in that easily. Fluffy boy, I hear you. But I'm busy. Okay, so we got... Magical Mystery Tour. Okay, next up. This is an album that I have fond memories of. And oh my god, I got the fucking front cover all scratched up. Fuck. Well, I don't know how the fuck that happened, but I'm sure the record is in good condition. Although, oh shit. Yeah, this cover's kind of started to show some wear and tear, so... You know what? Now I know that I probably should have gotten those covers a lot sooner. But you know what? The record inside will still play just as good. But anyway, so with this next album, I don't think this is this album needs no introduction. Because, simply put, I think this is one of the greatest albums ever made. Arguably, one of the best Beatles albums, if not the best Beatles albums. I actually prefer this over Sgt. Pepper's, believe it or not. And it's not because of my nostalgia. It's not because it is my favorite album of all time. It simply is because it was such a well-produced album. There is hardly any cuts on this album that feels wasted. It feels... it feels... Sorry, I'm having a hard time trying to find the words for this. It's just an album that I just feel like does not miss a beat. And yeah, that's the best way to put it. This album does not miss a beat for me. And the way it is structured, I think still holds up. And it's got practically the high... it's practically the Beatles at their peak for me. Like... And they knew they were going to go out on a strong note, and they damn well did what they set out to do. And, of course, I am talking about Abbey Road. This is my favorite album of all time, as I've already said. Every song is so... Yeah. I can make like a 1 hour like essay about why Abbey Road's my favorite album of all time, but favorite album of all time, because every time I say that fast, it sounds like I'm saying a word completely different. Sorry, it's just sometimes with discussions on vinyl, I just get a little excited because again, this is a hobby of mine now, and you know I'm very enthusiastic about this hobby. So yeah, the fucking covers all scratch up, but the record itself sounds good. Alright, so next up is a compilation. I would imagine that some people probably confuse this as an album release, but in fact it wasn't. Because I think, expertise, knowledge, as well as the internet goes, it's been labeled as a compilation. And that is Hey Jude. This has, of course, Hey Jude, Revolution, which is like the louder version of Revolution, the one that's not in the White Album, because there's actually two versions, or there's two tracks of the White Album that's called Revolution, which is Revolution 1 and Revolution 9. But Revolution, just without a number, is the one that has that loud guitar and John going, ah! like really loud on the mic. So, that's the version that's on this compilation here. It's also got Paperback Raider. I should have known better? That was a album. That was actually on an album. Lady Madonna's on here. Can't Buy Me Love's on here, which is kind of an odd placement to put. I guess maybe they just want to put that as like nostalgia's sake. Don't Let Me Down's on here. Ballad of Johnny and Yoko's on here. Rain's on here, and Old Brown Shoe is on here. And I believe Old Brown Shoe was like one of the last singles they released before they broke up. So yeah. I thought the Hey Jude compilation album was fine. It is strange that they have a couple like songs of like their old days like on there. And yeah, also good luck trying to find this for a reasonable price because it's been out of print since the late 1980s, according to the Wikipedia article I'm actually looking at. So yeah. Yeah, and I kind of use that Wikipedia article as like a source of like just double checking like information shit because yeah. So yeah, I'm holding on to this for sure. I mean, it's practically a you know, time capsule, I guess you could. The cover definitely has seen wear and tear. And also, my apologies if you're hearing me clear my voice from time to time. I mean, I've been trying to stay hydrated, but I think it's a combination of my throat being dry, maybe me talking too much. All right, so next album, and this is the last one I'm going to show that's of the Beatles because this is the last Beatles album remaining that I have yet to talk about, and this is the original pressing, if I'm not mistaken, and I can tell because this thing's kind of, I mean, this cover's kind of big. You know, wear and tear, kind of beat the shit. Kind of, I mean, the cover's clearly seen better days. And, yeah. And of course, this was the final Beatles album. So that's Let It Be. And it's definitely got the memorable imagery. You got the title of the album on top, then you have the faces. If you are familiar with Gorillaz' Demon Days, you might have noticed the cover, the front cover scheme looks very similar. It's likely they took inspiration by the cover. And yeah. Oh, Phil Spector. Yeah, this is the only album by the Beatles not produced by George Martin. Yeah, and some people did not like the way he produced Let It Be. I mean, I don't mind I don't mind a couple songs on the original Let It Be version, but Kitty! I'm busy! He's gonna be Snoopy and shit. I don't want him fucking around in this. Because I'm gonna be moving around and he's gonna get in my way. So that's why I'm kind of getting on his ass. Alright, so yeah, Let It Be, I think is a great Beatles album. It's unfortunate it was their last, but hey, you know, they were creatively burned out and, you know, they went on to do solo work. So, you know, there were still more Beatles-ish to come, but if you wanted more Beatles, you'd have to, you know, go after their solo work. So, but yeah, Let It Be. Oh, and just like Revolver, actually, did I mention this about Revolver? You know, so I do plan on getting the new stereo mixes of Revolver and this. Because the new mixes that Revolver and this got are pretty good. Alright, so next, now that we're done with the Beatles, okay. So for this next album, what can I say about this? Because this is, without a doubt, one of the best metal debut albums I have ever heard. I don't say this because I'm a fan of this iconic metal group, and okay, you can probably tell if you are savvy about cover art. It's Black Sabbath's debut album. I mean, holy shit, is this a good fucking start. Like, I'm familiar with the album Paranoid, an album I actually don't own yet, and I probably should look into that. Because I love Paranoid. But when I heard this for the first time, I was like, holy shit, they were kicking ass before Paranoid? Like, damn. But yeah, it is a fucking amazing metal album, amazing metal debut. I actually got this at a record store in Seattle, Neptune, I believe it was called. It's right by one of the light rail train stops. And I decided to visit one time, and I saw this around for like $24, and I'm like, I'm going for it. I can't resist Black Sabbath. But now you might be wondering, what pressing? It says NEMS, but on the label that the guy put this under, he stated it was a UK pressing. I believe it was a 1976 press of Black Sabbath's debut album. So this was pressed in the UK. So, I mean, I have spun it, and it sounds great, you know? So I'm happy about that. All right, next up. This is an album I definitely inherited from my dad, because I know he loved this, I know he loved this band quite a bit, and it's Boston. Boston's self-titled debut album, More Than Feeling, Peace of Mind, Foreplay. Side 1 is just fucking no skip. Side 1, no skip, Boston. Rock and roll band, Smokin' Hitch a Ride. That crop of tracks is also no skip. The last two tracks, I'm not saying they're skippable, but they're kind of like, they're designed to kind of close out the album, so they do their job, but the other 6, you can listen to them in isolation and just enjoy them just as much. And it's fucking great. And also, I know this is going to be silly and all this, but I really like the spaceships being guitar-shaped. It's just goofy as shit, but I love it. I mean, it's something. I mean, it's not like Boston themselves are, like, really... what do you call them? I'm having a loss for words. My goodness. But yeah, Boston, self-titled, fucking great rock album. All right, so I'm gonna go fish out the next letter, which is C. All right, next up, another debut album, and I'm sure I inherited this from my dad because I remember I don't think my mom was ever vocal about this band, so... Anyway, do I have my... Yep, I got my sleeve in there. I thought this is like one of those albums I don't have the sleeve for some reason. Anyway, The Cars, self-titled debut album. Also great. Good Times Roll, My Best Friend's Girl, just what I needed. The only song I don't remember just not caring much was I'm in Touch With Your World. I think Don't Just Stop I remember liking. But as for side 2, You All I've Got Tonight, okay. Bye Bye Love, which is a great cut in side 2. And Moving in Stereo, All Mixed Up. All Mixed Up, I think I've listened to and remembered liking, but side 1 definitely had a lot of good material on it. So, I mean, if you were going to let one side play without any interruptions, it was likely going to be side 1 of this. Yeah, and also I dig the cover. It's just, I don't know. I mean, it's definitely quite the cover. I mean, I'm guessing the cover kind of sold copies because they're like, ooh, pretty lady on the cover. This looks like a fun listen, and yeah, maybe that. I don't know. I don't know how this album sold, but maybe it was the cover art. Maybe it was just the music was good for the time. I don't know. But The Cars, can't go wrong with it. I mean, it's clearly the best album they ever made, so counts for something. Okay. All right, next up. Now, I actually have 2 copies of this. One of them skips. So, I don't know why my mom double dipped on this one. Maybe because one copy skipped or some shit? I don't know. It is Cat Stevens, Teaser, and the Fire Cat. Okay, so I know I inherited this from my mom because my mom introduced me to Cat Stevens when I was 11. And the album that she introduced me to was Tea for the Tillerman, which was the album that came before this. And now, when I was younger, I was really into rock music. So, guitars, drumming, I'm talking Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, the Beatles. That was my jam back in the day. But my mom introduced me to Tea for the Tillerman, and it was not the kind of music I was used to. And yet, my mom told me it's good. I was like, okay. And then I just kind of listened thinking, okay, this is not what I'm used to. And then, I just let the music play. And then after it was over, I was just like, wow, that was actually really good. It's like, yeah, I was listening to that when I was much younger too. And, because my mom was 17 when that album came out. So, yeah, so she really definitely enjoyed her Cat Stevens quite a good deal. And I believe this came out in 1971. Yeah. This came out in 71. So my mom was 18 when this album came out. And, yeah, I mean, my mom was definitely a little bit more open-minded to music genres than I was. And you know what? There are times I am grateful that she introduced me to Cat Stevens because his music is really good when it counts. And yeah, this is also another gatefold. I mean, yeah, I can see why my mom dug Cat Stevens. He was a good-looking man in his day. Yeah, Cat Stevens is actually, his name currently is Yusuf Islam. Because he converted to Islam in the, I want to say, late 70s. And, he is outspoken about his faith, but he definitely is, he definitely is a man of faith, but he does let his faith, he goes by example with his faith, despite he's outspoken. Like, what I'm saying is that he comes off very positively from his faith. So that's, yeah. And also, yeah, I got the same pressing, but this is the one that skips. So I'm actually gonna leave this one uncovered just to indicate that this one skips. So I'm going to leave that one as is. I'm not going to worry about it. Alright, so next up. Wait a minute. Got this a little mixed up in order. Alright, so next up. I know I inherited this from my mom because she had her nickname and her maiden name on the back. But, The Sunny Side of Cher by, Cher. So this has Bang Bang, My Baby Shot Me Down. Now I want to clarify something. Some people who listen to a good number of 60s music might be familiar with the Nancy Sinatra version. Because this confused me too. I thought Nancy Sinatra was the original artist that did Bang Bang, My Baby Shut Me Down. It was actually Cher that did it originally, so Nancy Sinatra's version was a cover. I thought it was the other way around when I first heard Cher's version. Our Day Will Come was pretty good. Where Do You Go? Yeah, I think I like that one. And it's also got Like a Rolling Stone. So if I'm not mistaken, this one has a cover of a Bob Dylan song. So yeah, Sunny Side of Cher is pretty good. I wouldn't say it's a 10 out of 10 album, but it's an album I can listen to just, mellowed out. So, accidentally got the two of these. So yeah, Sunny Side of Cher is a pretty good one, if I must say so. It's not because I inherited from my mom. It's just I enjoyed it for what it was. It's a '60s. Yeah, I mean it's definitely of the '60s. And you know what? I'm glad I listened to it because I was kind of curious, like, oh, what is this? And yeah, actually, come to be surprised, it actually was pretty good. Pretty good listen. I enjoyed my time spinning it. And this thing doesn't want to go in. Great. It's not even a gatefold, for fuck's sake. So. Alright, come on. Come on. There we go. Whew. Yep. Sunny Side of Cher. Alright, next up. I inherited this from my dad because he had a fondness of Chicago culture. I'm talking, he went on a few trips to Chicago, especially for a Chicago Cubs game, because he had a cousin who played for the Chicago Cubs, that being the third baseman, Ron Santa, which actually makes him a second cousin of mine. The Blues Brothers was definitely a film he loved, and it didn't surprise me that he got this album in particular, but it's also because there is one song that is such a standout by this band. And I am talking about Chicago 2. Even though it just says Chicago. Yeah, so Chicago had a bit of a weird album naming convention, so they always name their albums Chicago. But to make it clear that this was the second one, or the third one, or the fourth one, or the fifth one, or so on and so on, they had to like identify the numbering by the cover art. And yeah, that was definitely a thing they did in the past. And I'm assuming repressings add the Roman numerals to avoid confusion. But yeah, but the one with the silver white cover is clearly the most famous of Chicago covers because, of course, it has 25 or 624. 25 or 624. That's why I'd say that's one of the reasons why it's a well-known cover. And yeah, 24 over 624 is really a great song by them. And you know what? I like the Chicago sound in this album too. Like the trumpets, the drumming, the Chicago sound flavor is definitely strong in this. And yeah, I mean, it's from a band called Chicago. So yeah, no kidding. Chicago definitely had a certain sound they embraced, and it's present in this album. So if you like Chicago music, can't go wrong with this. I mean, it's got the name Chicago on it. So, all right. So next up, and I inherited this from my mom because she put her first and maiden last name on here. So, yeah, but you know what? Can't go wrong with this album. There's a couple good songs on here. It is Cosmos Factory by Creedence Clearwater Revival. It's got Looking Out My Back Door. Like, do, looking out my back door. Yeah, that song's in here. Up Around the Bend's in here, even though I used to be annoyed by that song after a few listens, but I've kind of gotten used to it. And it also has their cover of I Heard It Through the Grapevine, which was originally sung by Marvin Gaye. And Creedence Clearwater Revival's version is longer, but it's actually a really good cover. So, yeah. Cosmos Factory, great. Maybe one of the best. Maybe I'd say it's got potential of being the best Creedence Clearwater Revival album, but I mean, that might be a debatable point there for now, because I've yet to do a deep dive on Creedence Clearwater Revival, and I'm dropping my cover like crazy. I'm probably going to dent the damn outer cover. Ugh. Come on. Get in there. And this is not even a gatefold, for fuck's sake. I know I said that already with another album, but there we go. And voila. Cosmos Factory. Alright. I'm going to go fish out the next letter, which is D. Alright, next up is a soundtrack by Danny Elfman. And I had to get this because, you know what? I feel like spinning this every October. You probably have an idea where this is going. or do you? Because there's a couple soundtracks by Danny Elfman that are Halloween friendly. Some might think maybe Beetlejuice. At least I think Danny Elfman did the soundtrack for that film. But no, it's not that. Okay, there's really only one conclusion. The Nightmare Before Christmas. Alright, so about this release. This is I will say this, not the release I would prefer, but it was the release I was able to get my hands on at an affordable price. Due to other pressings being a lot more expensive. But you know what? I didn't care. Oh, and by the way, I love the artwork presentation on this. This just looks fucking great. So, I do want to show off at least the record sleeves on these, because I love the attention they put on this. Then of course you got the you got the details of what are on that record, and then got the mayor, who I swear I can relate to from time to time. I'm not kidding, because sometimes I get excited about shit, but sometimes I worry at the same time, so I can relate. But there is a reason. Okay, I'm actually going to fish these out real quick. I should have done that. I don't know why I put them back in. There is a reason why this release is particular. Because, and this is the only records I have that are of this kind. These are picture discs. And there's actually supposed to be an effect if you film the record spinning, but I have to have it at a certain frame rate for the effect to work, and that's actually the effect that's used. It is a zoetrope record, so they put like images on, they press images on the record, and it's supposed to give out an effect. But it's also a picture disc, so yeah, that's kind of like why they designed it a certain way. So we have Oogie Boogie, Ken Page, may rest in peace. Yeah, it's actually pretty cool though. Now here's the thing. This is my feelings on picture discs. I personally don't like the way they sound, and this is because picture discs are notorious for sounding scratchy, and that's just because the quality of picture discs, while they look cool and all, they tend to suffer on the sound quality because you have the image that the needle is like, that is something to do with the image pressing and whatnot, and it just, there's a reason why people say, oh, they just sound scratchy, this, and yeah, it's because there's some process with having the image on the record, and it just, could have been better. You would think after years of that being a thing, they would probably make a fix for that, but they haven't. But again, I had to get the picture disc release because of cost. Because of cost, not because it looked cool. It's because that was actually the one that was the cheaper one, and it was like, I don't know. There wasn't any other pressing I would have wanted to get. I think there was a colored pressing of the soundtrack, but it cost like 40, 50, maybe 60, and I was like, oh goodness, this cover is tearing on me. That's the second one that did that. And goodness, give me a minute. Okay, now can we get this sumbitch in? All right, give me a minute. Come on. Oh my goodness. I swear, gatefolds are going to be the pain. They're going to be the bane of my existence with these fucking covers. There we go. All right. There we go. Nightmare Before Christmas. Great soundtrack. I definitely plan on spinning this every October, you know, for the holiday season. All right. So let me move that along. All right. Next up. And I do plan on getting more volumes of this because I do like me some... oh my goodness, the front cover of this is actually pretty banged up too. Oh no. Yep. This is definitely... This is fine. This is actually seeing some kind of wear and tear. Oh boy. Oh boy. Alright, so anyway. Distant Worlds. Music. From Final Fantasy. Oh yeah, damn right I dig this shit. Bit of a history about this. So, I saw the Distant Worlds Final Fantasy concert twice last year. First time I went was the day before my birthday, which... yeah, you can imagine me being the Final Fantasy fanboy here. I was having the time of my life. But that was until the second concert came last year in July, and oh god, when they played Dancing Mad live, I lost my shit when it got announced. I was like, oh my god, no fucking way. Like, I was like, oh shit, like, are you fucking kidding? Yeah, I was beyond excited. And a friend of mine was like, telling me, oh, calm down, it's okay, it's okay. Like, I was just like, I was losing my shit when that song was coming up. I was like, oh my god. Because Final Fantasy VI is my favorite game of all time. So yeah, there's a reason why I was kind of going ape shit mentally before they started playing it. Because I was like, holy shit. And okay, here we go again. I'm having a fucking hell of a time trying to get this. Gatefolds. Why? There we go. Oh, give me a minute. Oh, for fuck's sake, what is going on here? There we go. Distant Worlds. Now, another thing I want to point out about this particular release, and this is where I'm definitely going to vouch for one day they remaster this first volume, and it's because Memoro di Stono, Distant Worlds, the last song in side B, has a... It has a song, or it has... It has a moment where the volume was too high. Alright, next up. This is an album I got shortly after I got my turntable, and I wanted to get this to commemorate me releasing my first AMV, which was Gynax 40, which 40 was spelt as XL, you know, Roman numerals for 40. And that's because of the song I used. And the album I am, of course, referring to is Electric Light Orchestra's Time, or ELO's Time. Although I'm seeing Electric Light Orchestra in Time on the spine. So, God, this album is great for an 80s album. I mean, Twilight, Yours Truly, 2095. Yeah, that's a bit of a sci-fi banner. Ticket to the Moon's great. The The Way Life's Meant to Be is good. Actually, side 1, I would make a strong argument. A no skip side. Yeah. Rain Has Fallen's good. The Lights Go Down's great. I remember Here's the News pretty good. Hold On Tight's great. So, yeah. Electric Light Orchestra's Time. I love it. Yeah, the jacket's a bit beat up, and that's actually how it came. So, the price I pay for getting this ordering this online, I guess. Could have done a little bit better job handling that shit, but, you know what? The record is good enough. The record sounds good. I don't have any problems spinning it, so I can live. All right, so there we go. Electric Light Orchestra's Time. All right. Next up. I definitely inherited this from my mom, and one of her favorite songs from this trio is on here. So anyway, the album I'm speaking of is Emerson, Lake and Palmer's Trilogy. From the beginning. One of my mom's favorite songs from Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Yeah, you know what? What a bummer about what happened to Keith and Greg. Because Keith Emerson committed suicide after he had like nerve damage issues, so he felt like he couldn't play, as well as he did, and that's what happened. And as for Greg Lake, he unfortunately had cancer, succumbed to it, so that leaves Carl Palmer, the only member that's still alive to this, today. So yeah, and also, yeah, I gotta say the gatefold image pretty trippy, because the only ones in the photo are Emerson, Lake and Palmer. I don't know how they were able to pull that off back in the 70s, but they probably did some trickery with the photography there. And yeah, I know some people are gonna point this out. Yeah, this cover's a little weird looking. It doesn't bother me that much. I've seen weirder artwork, before. So, yeah, Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Oh my goodness, Emerson's falling off on me. Okay, come on. Man, I hate it when one side just. This is why. Oh my goodness. I just want to put one side. Okay. There we go. Emerson, Lake and Palmer Trilogy. Alright. Oh my goodness. Half the crate is almost filled up. Alright, next up. Another Emerson, Lake and Palmer album. I wish I could say it's the debut album, which is great. But I found this one last year, late last year, at Half Price Books, a secondhand store. And I am, of course, talking about Brain Salad Surgery, and I will definitely look into getting another copy of this for one very good reason. The record that I got with this is scratched the fuck up late in the side 1, and oh god, it is awful. I will actually prove it to you what I mean. I'm not bullshitting. And that's an unfortunate site too. So actually, let me turn on my ring light so I can just shine that bitch. Yeah. That's what happened. And that's how I got it, too. I was not the one that scratched it. It came that way when I got it. I should have checked. but I didn't. But yeah, but in all seriousness, aside from that, Brain Salad Surgery is a good album. There is one song that prevents it from me giving it like a 10 for me. Benny the Bouncer, probably the only track that didn't work for me. But what is really cool about this cover, aside from just the entire design, is actually the man who did the artwork, H.R. Geiger. Anyone familiar with the film Alien? Yeah, H.R. Geiger was involved in that film. So, yeah. And also, what's really cool about this cover, it opens up. You might have noticed this like flapping around from time to time. You know, like, yeah, see? Yeah. Well, open it up. Yeah. I can imagine a lot of people in the 70s thought that was like the coolest shit ever. So, now because this is scratched the fuck up, I am going to go ahead and just leave this uncovered. Because this is like, yeah, I'm definitely going to go for another copy of this. One that actually isn't scratched the fuck up and maybe either mint, near mint, or just new. So, that's what I'm going to do. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead with the next letter, which I think is G. So, give me a moment. Alright, so I do have one album by an artist that starts with G, and I'm just going to go ahead and just share what it is. It is American Idiot by Green Day, and more specifically the 20th anniversary edition. So there's actually a little story behind this. So I had planned on getting American Idiot to, prep up for the 4th of July, hint, hint. And I realized that there was a standard edition, which was standard black, and a 20th anniversary edition with a different design on the vinyl. So I decided to let a couple of friends of mine who are Green Day fans decide what edition I should go for. And they voted for this release. And it's because of the color of the vinyl. And I am definitely going to show this off because, yeah, I'm actually glad I let them vote this because I think they realized this was probably worth getting. So yes, the 20th anniversary edition is not in standard black. It is in red and black splatter. Yeah. I think I now realize why they wanted me to go for this. Now, I also want to show off record 2 because it actually does not look like this, believe it or not. Give me a minute. I'm just putting away record number 1 and... oh, shit. Okay. I realized the top of... the back half is like kind of tearing up on the top. Ugh, damn it. Okay, so for record 2, this is why I'm showing this off. It's in dark red. Yeah. I actually didn't notice this until my second spin of this. I was like, why does that record look darker than the first? I'm like, holy shit, they're different shades of red. So yeah, I never picked up on that. It was just because I was just in the process of listening to this or spinning this for the first time. And yeah, so to those friends who voted for me getting the 20th anniversary edition, thank you. I know I've already said that through Discord DMs, but I genuinely thank you for voting for this release because I'm very pleased with it. So now I'm gonna go ahead and oh my goodness, I'm like grabbing more than one of these outer sleeves. And here we go. This is a gatefold. So here we go. We're going to have a pain in the ass trying to put this sumbitch in. or are we? Come on, you bitch. Come on. Don't fucking tear up on me now. There we go. Yeah, boom. Boom. Yep. There we go. Going in. Green Day's American Idiot. I think is a great album. If I'm being honest. And I know some people in the U.S. might think otherwise, and you know what? They can kiss my ass. Actually, I don't like getting my ass kissed. They could suck my dick. Okay, so next letter is going to be H. All right, so I only have one album with the artist that starts with H, and I clearly inherited this from my dad. Because I remember my dad really liked this band back then, and yeah, I do too. I remember listening to this band back as a teenager, and I remember I got a compilation of their music, and I just love the songs that were put on there. And yeah, I definitely plan on looking into getting more albums from this band for sure. And that being Heart, by which this is Dreamboat Annie, their debut album. Dreamboat Annie, really good start. It starts out with Magic Man, then Dreamboat Annie, Fantasy Child, which is more of like a tone setter for Crazy on You, but it's also a tone setter for the whole album, because there's actually 3 separate occasions where Dreamboat Annie is sung. You have Fantasy Child, which is again a 1 minute or so track. Then you have just Dreamboat Annie, which is the more upbeat version of Dreamboat Annie. And then you have the Reprise, which is a more softer, slower version, but it's meant to cap off the album. But Magic Man, Dreamboat Annie, Crazy on You, yeah, that's about it. There's other songs on here, but the standouts are the strong tracks on Dreamboat Annie. Yeah, it's a fantastic album. Where it's at. I think it's a good start. I really need to give these more like listens and kind of, you know, maybe I should like listen to them when I'm preparing to like review them. I really need to get back on that. Actually, I am planning on recording a oh goodness. At the time I'm recording this, I am planning on recording a vlog where I'm kind of saying I'm back, because I do want to get back to the hobby I had enjoyed doing, which is like doing reviews. So, yeah. Anyway, going to let that... Why is it going slowly? There we go. Heart, Dreamboat Annie. I'm starting to run out of space on one side. Okay, so next letter is going to be I. Alright, I only have one album by an artist that starts with I, and okay, how do I go about describing my feelings on this album? I mean, if we're talking kick-ass metal albums, if we're talking badass album covers, you cannot go wrong with Iron Maiden's The Number of the Beast. I mean, what can I say about it? It's fucking great. Now, I actually do want to go into some detail about the copy I have, because this is actually one that comes with a bit of an oddity on my end. So let me check it here. Right. Okay, Number of the Beast is good. Give me a minute. I'm trying to... Yeah, it's this side right here. Okay, so side 1 for me. Now, I gotta remember to stop spinning once the inner groove is hit, because unfortunately the label is a little off, which means if I just let this side spin on its own without, stopping it before it hits the end point of the inner groove, that needle is going to hit that that needle's going to hit the label. And that's because the label was not properly pressed on. Because it's a little off in a certain direction. So, yeah. So I have a bit of a pressing oddity here. And that's just because they did not press the label properly. And therefore, I'm stuck with a label that the needle will hit if I don't stop it in time. And it's loud as shit when I have the music playing on loud, and it does drive me nuts. So yeah, it's not fun. Aside from that, the album's great. The album sounds great. I love it. And yeah, damn right I got Number of the Beast by Iron Maiden. I love the cover. I love some of the songs on this. And actually, the whole album is fucking great. You can't go wrong with Iron Maiden when it comes to metal. Can't go wrong with this album. Actually, their debut and Killers are great too. So, but this was also the first Iron Maiden album to have Bruce Dickinson as lead vocals after Paul Di'Anno was either like kicked out or fired or left. My memory's a little hazy on that detail, but yeah, Bruce Dickinson started with Number of the Beast, and holy shit did he shred with his vocals. Like, damn. Like, Bruce Dickinson had to prove his worth with Number of the Beast, and yeah, I think it's pretty safe to say him taking over as vocals was very pleasing to the Iron Maiden fans. I mean, I'm sure back then they were kind of a little bummed out that Paul Di'Anno wasn't coming back, but at least Bruce Dickinson did not let Iron Maiden fans down at the time, or he didn't let people down when this came out. So, yeah, great fucking metal album. Alright, so next letter is going to be J. Alright, next up, okay, I will say this. Of all the album covers I have in my collection, this is by far probably the coolest idea for a record cover, just because of how they presented it, really. And now, a bit of a history about this. This was another album I was introduced to thanks to my mom, because she actually got this album on CD for Christmas years ago. And, well, the CD edition doesn't have this same effect, I'll tell you that much. And, but still, when I heard it, it took me a while to kind of adjust to it. But after listening, I thought, I like this. This is pretty good. And I kept listening to it again and again and again, and I ended up loving it, the more I listened to it. And actually, as I get older, I love it even more. So it's an album that grew on me. But after having my hands on a copy on vinyl, I thought, man, this is actually the coolest way I have interacted with the album's materials, aside from the music. So I am talking about Jethro Tull's Thick as a Brick. Now, what's cool about this? Fold it down. Give me a minute. It is. Hold on. I'm trying to get this. Yeah. It's practically a newspaper. Like the design. If you look at the contents, it is practically like reading a newspaper. That is pretty crazy, and I love the cover design idea. It's just like, how often do you see an LP release like that? That's Jethro Tull, I guess. They thought something way out of the box, and it was a pretty cool design. And you know what? I'd say that's an award-winning design choice. Like, because what is it? The Grammys have like best packaging. I guarantee you, Thick as a Brick would have won if best packaging was ever an award back then. So, Not that I care about the Grammys, but you know what I mean? Like, it's just, it's a really cool idea. So, and I don't think the CD release ever had that advantage. So, yeah. And there is one area where it kind of pops, and I'm kind of like, again, this was also another half-price books purchase I got, aside from Brain Salad Surgery. What the fuck is going on here? Okay, you know what? Probably not the... Wait, can I still fish this out? Yeah, I can. Alright. I might have to scrap this outer cover because it is... Yeah, it is kind of just bulging out at the bottom. But, I mean, I can always get new covers down the road. No biggie. But yeah, Thick as a Brick. By Jethro Tull. Great album. One of the best Jethro Tull albums, period. Alright, next up is a soundtrack by Jeremy Zuckerman. I found this at Amazon, or not Amazon, Barnes & Noble, of all places. And I honestly had to go for it. And it is the soundtrack to Avatar: The Last Airbender, Book 1, Water. So, okay, what I'm aware about this soundtrack release, and okay, to those that know me know I love this show, but there's a reason I'm going to go into detail about this release. So, from my understanding, what is heard on this release, which is also on CD, is that they are re-orchestrations of the entire soundtrack, but it is meticulously orchestrating every piece of music into live orchestrations, because from what I'm aware of, when the soundtrack was originally recorded, it was done with like digital and MIDI means, except for the finale. The finale was like the only thing where they actually had live instruments recorded onto the soundtrack, and I think it's clearly because of one of the fight sequences. Or maybe it was just the whole finale. They just felt like, oh, let's just have an orchestra doing the music for that one. So, but based on the recording I've heard through this, it sounds so good. And yes, I did buy this with the hope they will do season 2, or with the hope that season 2 and season 3 will get their soundtracks. And from what Jeremy Zuckerman has hinted on Instagram, I want to say, because someone asked him, like, hey, are we ever going to get a season 2 soundtrack? And he said, mixing and mastering is on the way. So he did at least answer, thankfully, stating that, hey, we're working on season 2, but he just didn't want to say, but he said something about mixing and mastering, so I'm like, okay, good. So at least that's some good news. But I did get this, because I love the show. But what's cool about this is the records themselves. Because, oh my god, you gotta take a look at this. And season 2, season 3 better follow suit with the color choices. It's in blue. Well, more like turquoise blue, but it's very fitting color choice for the season. So, green, please. Green translucent, and then orange, red translucent for season 3, please. Because come on. They got to. But yeah, I do plan on getting season 2 and season 3 soundtracks. But man, the soundtrack to this is really good. I love it. It's actually yeah, the music sounds as good as I remembered, or it's just well put together. Like, this actually had some good cuts here. Aside from the title theme, there's also Agni Kai. That sounded great. Blue Spirits on here, which, oh, that was great listening on vinyl. Uh, Winter, spring, summer, and fall's on here, so we do have archival audio of Mako in this, so I can imagine if when season 2 comes, soundtrack wise, I bet you Leaves from the Vine's gonna be included in. Fuck, because that song is hard to sit through. Not gonna, I mean, yeah. Also, AIM becomes Oceans on this, so that's I mean, if you love Avatar: The Last Airbender, or you really like the music from it, this is worth getting. Either vinyl, CD, take your pick, get it. It's great. Great soundtrack. Oh, goodness. Am I running out of space? Yeah, I am. Okay. What is the holdup on this bitch? It's like not wanting to... What in the fuck is going on here? Alright, hold on. Something right here. Alright, yeah. Okay. Yeah, one side was kind of filled up. Alright, so... Sorry for that little delay. Alright, next up. I'm gonna assume this was my dad that got this. And... Why is there a... Give me a moment. Okay, I had to get a MoFi sleeve because for some reason there wasn't one on this. I don't know why. I thought I fucking sleeved this bitch. Okay, problem solved. Alright. Anyway. So this next album, I'm going to assume my dad probably got it. I'm just going to take a gander on that. I don't know. But it is John Lennon's Imagine. Now, yes, this of course has the title track Imagine, which clearly, you know, has been treated like as an anthem for humanity and whatnot. Now, of course, Imagine was not without some controversy because some people got offended by some of the lyrics. Like, imagine there's no heaven, it's easy if you try, no hell below us, above us only sky. And of course there's also a lyric where he says, imagine there's no country, da, 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 and no religion too. So, okay, here is my stance about those lyrics. As someone who has I want to say, as someone as me who has religious views, I don't let lyrics like that bother me because I am looking at that as in the context of John Lennon expressing his freedom of speech. I know he was born in the UK, but he later moved to the US. So as an American, I do greatly I greatly stand by the expression of freedom of speech. This is not just for myself. This applies to others. So, now, John Lennon was not a religious man. Now, does that prevent me from enjoying his music? No. So, you know, that's kind of how I feel. Now, the one thing that kind of pisses me off about the discourse about the song Imagine, because I think it is a beautiful song, all things considered. Even if it's got a few lyrics, that doesn't resonate with me. But again, it is not for me to say, oh, screw this song because, oh, it's got some supposed anti-religious, lyrics in there. It's coming from a guy who's not, like, I've already made that point clear. But it's not just that. What pisses me off about discourse, especially from some people lately, is how they conflate the song for being pro-communist. Now, some have interpreted the lyrics as being, favoring communism, but that's for those people that, kind of think that way. But there are some right-wing shitheads that will easily say, oh, imagine, it's a commie song. To that, fuck you. Honestly, what this song encapsulates is that it asks the listener to imagine what life would be like without barriers. Or maybe it is a song that encourages the listener to be a neighbor to that other person. It has been, it can be looked at as a song about unity and being neighborly to others. That's another way of reading into it. But of course, some people want to take the easy route and say, oh, it's a commie song, so fuck that. It isn't. At least I don't read it off like that. And some people will look at it with that reading. And, well, honestly, I don't agree with that. But it's just, I like the song. It doesn't resonate with me completely, but that's not the point. The point is that John Lennon had something to say with that song. He meant well when he performed the song. In fact, John Lennon was a peace activist. That also should be an indicator of what he was trying to say with the song. He said this with the mindset that he was a peace activist. So it's, and of course, some people want to take, spin it with their own narrative to suit their own fucking views and shit. And you know what? I look at it in a way that is meant to be close to what the artist intended. Okay, I know I rambled on about that, but I just had to bring that up. This is a... Anyway, moving on to K. Okay, next. I only have one album from an artist that starts with K, and this is one of the most legendary albums I have ever heard. And I say legendary because of the time it came out and what it did for a genre of music. Well, more like a genre of rock, that being prog rock. I am, of course, talking about the one and only In the Court of the Crimson King by King Crimson. The music in this is incredible. The album cover's iconic. And yeah, 1969, man. Some good shit came out that year. This, Abbey Road, and I even hear Frank Zappa's Hot Rats was a great album from 1969. And yeah, this is another gatefold. And yeah, great. Gonna have a hell of a time trying to get this fucker closed. And yeah, let's get this. Come on. Closed, damn you. Or get in there. Okay, come on. Can't think wait. Oh, did I get you? Yep, gotcha. All right. Come on, you. Oh yeah, this is fun. Come on, you. I'm trying not to break this fucking cover. Oh, this is not going down like... Oh my goodness, this is... Come on, man! Go in! What is the holdup on it? Is this because the jacket is like really thick or something? Like, what is the deal? Okay. I'm just trying not to damage the... Oh my god, this is... There we go. Finally got that sumbitch in. Wasn't easy to put in, that's for sure. That was the toughest one I've had to put in. Oh boy. I really should look into getting gatefold outer sleeves because I'm aware they're supposed to do the job, and I'm probably gonna have to do that for some of these. So there's that. There's In the Court of the Crimson King by King Crimson, one of the greatest albums ever made. So moving up is M. Okay, moving on. This is another one I got from Half Price Books, but actually the condition of this was pretty good. So I went for it because I really like the first track of this album. The rest, I don't know, but I mean, I got this for like $5-7. So I mean, if I was gonna get something that was like, I like one song, but the rest I'm not familiar with, I figured it wasn't a bad bet to get this. And that is The Roaring Silence by Manfred Mann's Earth Band. This, of course, has Blinded by the Light, revved up like a douche. It's a cover of a Bruce Springsteen song, and honestly, yeah. One thing about that cover of of Blinded by the Light in this, yes, this is also the song where some people misheard deuce as douche. And that's just because of the mic feedback or something. So yeah, that's what happened. Yeah, but I dig the cover. It's great. It's not anything close to Springsteen's version, but it's a pretty kick-ass cover. I like it. And I'm not trying to say it's 10 times better than Bruce Springsteen's version. It's just it's a different interpretation of the song. And one that I actually really enjoy, And I do plan on getting some Bruce Springsteen while I'm at it because one of my high school teachers was a massive Bruce Springsteen fan, and yeah, definitely want to get that. Born to Run definitely would be something I would look into. Yeah, Roaring Silence, Manfred Mann's Earth Band. Good stuff. All right, next up, another metal album, and God, this one needs no introduction. Because as far as thrash metal goes, this is one of the best fucking thrash metal albums, if not the best thrash metal fucking album ever made. Metallica's Master of Puppets. Yeah, what more can I say about this? Battery, Master of Puppets, fucking great. The Thing That Should Not Be, great. Welcome Home Sanitarium, great. Disposable Heroes, great anti-war song. Lepel Messiah's good. And God, this album's good. Now, I will say this for the sake of the topic here. They did release this as one LP. Now, I was surprised to learn that Master of Puppets was like 27 minutes per side, and usually a record side should last about 22 minutes for quality purposes. And Master of Puppets, to my surprise, was a 1 LP release. And I am aware that there is a 2 LP pressing of this album. I think that was made around the same time that this album was made. And it does sound to me one of the complaints from the staunch vinyl listeners out there stated that the volume of the album is not loud enough. And I think the reason for this is because they were pressing 27 minutes of music per side. And in order to fit this album in 2 sides, they had to tone down the volume just so they can fit the music in. And usually that's not a good idea because Meatloaf's Bad Outta Hell 2 had its album originally pressed on 2 sides. And that album was like over an hour long. The downside is the audio quality suffered because of how they pressed so much music on one side. In this case, the volume was noticeably lower than what I would have expected. I mean, granted, the workaround, just turn up the fucking speakers. No problem. But, I mean, the album sounds great other than the volume thing I noticed. But I think with repressings, they really should have considered just splitting into two and then explain, hey, we split this into two for better quality purposes. And I would have been fine if it was a 2 LP release at that. But alas, it's a 1 LP release. I'll live. It's, I'm not complaining about this being a 1 LP release, but I am aware that the volume issue is there. Not so much the quality of the music in general, but yeah, Metallica's Master of Puppets is so fucking good. Like, I love listening to this from time to time. Yeah, I do enjoy my metal. What can I say? Fucking great. And I definitely plan on getting more Metallica aside from this. And another one. So. And actually, Master of Puppets was actually recommended by a friend of mine because I asked her, like, hey, is there like 2 albums you recommend me to go for? Like album suggestions. And she said Master of Puppets. And then this one. Another Metallica album. I love the cover. Now, the contents of the music, I think, could have been better. I'll get more into that in just a moment. That is Injustice for All. Now, some of the music in this is great. Blackened's good. Injustice for All is good. Eye of the Beholder's kind of badass. I like it. One is the best song of the album. Side 3 is okay for the most part. Although it's got the frayed ends of sanity, which has oh for some weird reason. But To Live is to Die is also noted on here, and that's Cliff Burton's contribution, I believe. Or it was either that or it was a tribute to him. But I mean, it was in there for a reason. Now, as much as I love the material on this, there is one glaring flaw. Jason Newsted's bass is drowned the fuck out. And that is a result of the way this album was mastered. That's my one issue with Injustice for All. As far as like the guitar riffs, the drumming, fucking fantastic. It's just a fucking shame the bass is drowned out in that album. And, what is it? James Hetfield, he said, we thought about remixing that album, but we figured we're not going to because those albums are a part of our history, and it's there. That's how we did it, and we just want to keep it that way. I can respect that mindset, but here's the thing. I would have told them, like, look, just make an exception for Injustice for All because Jason Newsted got fucked over big time on that one. Like, you can barely hear him. So, Injustice for All. Fucking great. Alright, next up, I have a soundtrack, more of a curated release, and I actually plan on getting the 6 LP release because I realized that was coming after the matter of the fact I got this. But I got my hands on Metal Gear Solid Vinyl Selections. This is the curated 2 LP release. Essentially, you got music from, what is it? The first Solid game. Then you have Metal Gear Solid 2, Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, Metal Gear Solid 4, Portable Ops, Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes, and Phantom Pain. No, Peace Walker I'm seeing. What the fuck? Is Peace Walker not on this set? I thought I saw it. Give me a minute. Oh, Peace Walker is on here. Yep. That cleared up the confusion. Peace Walker was on the first record, not the second. That's where I kind of got goofed up. But yeah, I love the artwork on here. And also, the exclamation point. That ring! that ever so classic exclamation points of Metal Gear Solid. But yeah, I am planning on double dipping on this, but with the deluxe set, because it's got more music of Metal Gear Solid. And I actually do like the music to Metal Gear, despite my complicated feelings on this franchise back then. So, but the music was consistently the one thing I loved about it. So, alright, moving on. And, do I really need to give this album an introduction because it is the highest selling album of all time? Michael Jackson's Thriller. Yeah, it's good. It's got some good stuff in it. Thriller, Beat It. Billie Jean, Pretty Young Thing. Yeah, good shit. Good stuff on Thriller. Debatable if it's a 10 out of 10 album for me, though. That's kind of where I'm at. Oh, goodness. There we go. Yeah. Boom. All right. All right, next up. N. Oh, hold on. There is one thing I forgot. Doom. The soundtrack by Mick Gordon. I have the whole entire soundtrack on vinyl. And, okay, now there is a bit of a story I probably should tell about my copy of the Doom soundtrack. And this has to do with Record 2. Side B of Record 2. So Record 2, Side 2. So, I, unfortunately, had a pressing error. And, well, my original copy did not have music by Mick Gordon pressed on Side 2 of Record 2. This is what it should sound like. But instead, this got pressed onto my original copy. What the hell? Yes, Meatloaf somehow got accidentally pressed on my original copy of the Doom soundtrack with Record 2, Side 2. How the fuck did that happen? But fortunately, I was able to contact Laced Records, and they were able to provide me a replacement copy. However, they didn't have standard black, so they just gave me the red-black splattered colored vinyl instead. Look, I'll take it over nothing, at least. And, you know, I like to think that the devil was fucking with me when that whole process happened, because actually when I ordered this, I actually, you know, what they claimed was available was the colored vinyl, but I ended up getting standard black after all. So what the fuck was going on while I was going through this? So, I mean, it definitely is quite the story, I must say, but this soundtrack kicks ass, though. Now, I am not going to cover this because this is a box, so I'm just gonna leave this as it was packaged. But yeah, fucking great video game soundtrack. I love it. Anyway, now to N. Alright, so next up is another soundtrack, but this one is of a film, and I know I inherited this from my dad because this was his favorite film of all time. That's The Godfather. Yeah, the soundtrack by Nino Rota. Which is why I'm placing it under N. But, yeah. The Godfather soundtrack. And, why is there no sleeve on this? Be right back. Goodness, I really need to... I should have just sleeved all of these from the beginning. I guess it's because I haven't spun this yet. That's why I haven't, put a sleeve in there yet. So, let me... Oh. so just let me get this son of a bitch in, and yeah, we're good to go. Yeah. Boom. So yeah, The Godfather. I have heard this soundtrack on CD. It's a pretty, you know, it's a good soundtrack, all things considered. Great film, though. One of the best films ever made. And the soundtrack's good. I do not have part 2 or part 3 on vinyl. That's because my dad never got them on vinyl. So, yeah. But I could imagine those vinyl soundtracks of part 2 and part 3 are going to be a bitch. So, we'll see. But, yep. Godfather. Alrighty. Alright, so next, Q. And oh boy, do I have a lot to say about the next letter. That box over there, the big one over there that says Queen on it, that's next. Okay, so I had to undo the little slip mat because I am going to be showing off this big ass box. I mean, this thing is kind of a little heavy. I'm not even kidding. But this is what the box looks like without the slip mat, and then it opens up like that. Voila. There is more to show. And yeah, you're damn right I'm showing off all 15 albums because I am going to sleeve all of them. So, buckle up because this is going to be quite the dive. So, just let me put this box down and we're going to... Oh, God, this thing's heavy. That thing is a fuck ton heavy. All right, let's go. Starting off with Queen's debut album. Fucking fantastic. Now, yes, the sound quality on this isn't great, or more like the mixing is not great on this album. But that is because this was clearly Queen getting their bearings, like as a band, like sound-wise. But all things considered, it sounds great. Like, I mean, I wouldn't say it sounds great. The musicianship is great on this album. And where the mixing does suffer has to do with Roger Taylor's drumming. Like, Freddie's singing's great. Brian May's guitar playing's great. John Deacon sounds great. Although, yeah, he is labeled as Deacon John, which is actually kind of funny. But, yeah, Queen's self-titled debut is it is fucking great. Yeah, fucking great album. Great start, strong start. The only thing that brings it down is the mixing. It's my only quibble with it. All right, so let me try to open this one carefully. All right, Queen 2. Which is great. Lot of good shit in there. Black Side is actually, like, I'd say has the strongest material, period. Like, good God, is there good stuff on the Black Side. But the White Side's got some good material, too. But Ogre Battle's great. March of the Black Queen's great, even though it's got the N-word in it. But I mean, this was back in the 70s, so I'm sure if Freddie was still here, I'm sure he would have said, hey, you know what? Probably would have said something, but what else is there? Funny How Love Is pretty good. I actually love that track. And of course, the Seven Seas Rye. Fuck yes. Fucking amazing closing track. What is going on here? All right, come on. Work with me. There we go. Queen 2. Really good shit. All right. Although fishing out the it shouldn't be that hard. All right. Oh yes, next one. I fucking love this album. Oh, shit. Speaking of which, I forgot to show this off. So, one of the perks about that box set is... Give me a minute. They're colored. Yeah, I probably should have started showing off the colors. So yeah, Queen's debut is in purple. Alright, now I can put that away. Alright. I cannot believe I forgot about that little detail about the records. I should have... Okay, now for side white, I think you can imagine what color... God, just freaking cords. I think you can imagine what color this would be. Standard white. Give me a minute. As for black, side black, well, standard black. Oh yeah, that's another thing I want to point out. So in the original pressings, they did both sides, like one side per one side. Oh damn, I got fingerprints on this one. So yeah, they have they have side white on one side and side black on the other. But for the box set, they decided to do 2 LPs for Queen 2. With the other side of each record having this etching of Queen 2. Yeah. That's a pretty cool detail, to be honest. It doesn't show very well on side white, but the etching's there if you shine it brightly enough. But not so much... but I mean, with side black, it's easier to see. So there we go. Queen 2. Oh, for fuck's sake! Hold on. Got something else. Oh my goodness! Just lay there, damn it! All right. So Queen. Sheer Heart Attack. This is great. Great stuff on here. Kill a Queen, Flick of the Wrist, Now I'm Here, In the Lap of the Gods, Stone Cold Crazy, Dear Friends is great, Bring Back Leroy Brown, and In the Lap of the Gods Revisited. Yeah, good fucking shit. I love this album. As for the record is red and translucent. So yeah. Okay, now time to cover this one up now. Sheer Heart Attack. All right, next, this album really needs no introduction, and oh boy, I got some discoloring. Oh no! Shit! Well, usually with albums with a white fucking background, I mean, you're bound to get some kind of some shit going on there. I'll have to do some cleaning on this one eventually. But this one needs no introduction. It is A Night at the Opera. Personally, my favorite Queen album and one of my favorite albums of all time. Yeah, and since it's white, it's in white vinyl. Yeah. And it's great. I know some people might prefer another album over this. Like, some might prefer Queen 2 over it. That's valid. I get it. Queen Night at the Opera, however, I feel... I mean, aside from Bohemian Rhapsody, I just love the other songs in there. Prophet's Song is one of their best songs that I don't think gets enough attention. Or maybe it does, but it doesn't get enough, like, mainstream attention, I guess you could put it that way. But it's also got I'm in Love with My Car, You're My Best Friend, Love of My Life. Yeah. Really, really good. Really good songs in here. Alright. Next up, and for any Queen fans, they probably know where this is going. A Day at the Races. This one's good. But I will admit, I prefer A Night at the Opera more than it. And yeah, some people think it was, but back when this came out, people thought, oh, this was like a sequel-ish album to A Night at the Opera, and I get it. It's because it's got a nearly identical cover. But I mean, if you hear this album just, without A Night at the Opera in context, I guess it is an enjoyable album that way. But I mean, I guess because this was a follow-up to A Night at the Opera, I mean, it kind of goes to show that, yeah, there was definitely some, there's definitely some songs that, I don't know. Tie Your Mother's Down's good. You Take My Breath Away is good. Although it's got a weird ending, though. Lonaway's fine. Millionaire Waltz I like. Somebody Loves great. White Man, probably one of the most underrated fucking Queen songs. And, yeah. Like, White Man does not bullshit around with what it's trying to say. And, I bet some fucking right-wing shitheads are probably like, Queen was woke back then. Yeah, maybe a little bit. But, yeah, the term wasn't used back then. Good old-fashioned Love of Boy is great. Drowse is great. That's an underrated one. And Tia Toriate. Love the way that one ends. Alright, next up. Oh, this is another good one. Even though some people might think the artwork's kind of weird, but I like it. News of the World. And yeah, when you fold this down, holy shit, take a look at this. Yeah. And when you flip it over, yeah, that's some pretty freaky shit. Okay, so what's on here? We Will Rock You, We Are the Champions, Sheer Heart Attack. I love that song. All Dead's good. Spread Your Wings is good. And, yeah, Fight from the Inside's fine. Get Down, Make Love, I like to call Queen's fuck song. Who Needs You, I really like. It's fine. And Melancholy Blues, I think, is an underappreciated Queen song. Because it's essentially a jazz song by Freddie Mercury. Maybe that was the whole point. And maybe, who knows, maybe that was a little teaser for what the next album would be called. Give me a minute. Oh, come on. Go in. Okay, I shouldn't be stacking these with the way I'm doing, but I am doing this a certain way. Oh, goodness, my head's itching. It's this damn heat, I tell you. All right, next up. Queen's Jazz. So there's some... Oh, yeah, and by the way, if I move this like a certain way, yeah, there's actually an effect that's going on. That's actually some cool fucking shit. I wonder if they did this on purpose, like, as like a future, like thinking forward or something. That is actually pretty cool. I actually love the cover of this. Although, yeah. Alright, I'm going to just sleeve this. What is the end of this? There we go. Alright. What do we got here? We got Mustafa, which I think is kind of an underappreciated track. Fat Bottom Girls. Hell yeah. Jealousy. I'm trying to remember what Jealousy was like. It kind of sounds like a familiar song. Bicycle Race is in there. Yeah, there's some good... Oh, Don't Stop Me Now is on here, too. Yeah. Good shit. All right. Moving on. I will say, this is probably one of the coolest cover effects I've seen, and I gotta really clean this shit, too. The Game. Yeah. And I think only the vinyl edition has this effect. So, yeah. Oh, and motherfucker. I keep forgetting to show the fucking records. I'm sorry. It's just that my mind's just kind of going out of... Alright, give me a moment. I'm going to show off those records. Where was I? I stopped at Day of the Races. Goodness. Alright, so Day of the Races. As you probably can imagine, what the record would look like. Standard black. Right. Oh, shit. As for news of the world... Oh. What is... Oh, there we go. Okay, so for news of the world, it is in green translucent. Alright, hopefully I can get this shit sorted out. Alright. Now as for jazz. Having a hard time trying to pull these suckers out. Alright, so for jazz. Oh, this is sexy looking. Take a look at that. It's pink translucent. Now, when I say translucent, that means that means that record is see-through. So since I have a slip mat, actually two of them, I'll get to see the slip mat art while the record's spinning. So that is, I love that effect. Okay, now for the game. Now we're caught up. The game's record is silver. Like, it's got a metallic looking silver, which is very, fitting of the, record sleeve, or jacket design. Alright, now we're caught up. Finally. Okay, moving on. Flash Gordon. The only soundtrack by Queen, although some say A Kind of Magic is a soundtrack. But it's technically an album. So, yellow, of course, is the color they went with. Alright. So, let me grab the sleeve for that. And... okay. Boom. Good to go. Alright, moving on. And, okay. This one. Hot Space. This is widely considered the weakest album by Queen. Personally, I like this more than Flash Gordon. And, okay, and what I mean this is I prefer listening to this over the Flash Gordon soundtrack in isolation. Even though the Flash Gordon music does kick ass in places. But honestly, Hot Space, I think, has some songs that are kind of cool. Or has some songs I think are fine. Staying Power, I don't mind. Backchat, I don't mind. Biolanguage, I kind of dig. Action to Stay, I like. Put Out the Fire, I really like. Life is Real is a song dedicated to John Lennon. Cool Cat's kind of cute sounding. But Under Pressure is without a doubt the best song on this album. It's also got David Bowie involved too. And, oh yeah. The record is blue. Okay, so the reason they went for blue on this is because John Deacon actually came up with the idea for the album. So That's why it's in blue. Although kind of a missed opportunity to not have it multicolored in this fashion, but maybe there was limitations. I have no fucking clue. All right. So next up, The Works. And you know what? I kind of have mixed feelings on this album, believe it or not. I don't know. There's just some songs I don't care for. As for the color, it is red. Just straight up red. Even though they could have just made this a beige colored record, if anything. I don't know. Maybe they wanted to match the font or the color of the text. Maybe that was the point. I don't know. But The Works is alright. The songs I like in it, I'll get to those in just a moment. Radio Gaga I like. Tear It Up's fine. It's a Hard Life sounds a lot like yeah, Tear It It's a Hard Life kind of sounds a little like Play the Game. With the play the game and it's a hard life. Like like the vocal similarity is there. Man on the Prowl is fine. Machines I don't care for. I Want to Break Free I like. Keep Passing the Open Windows is good. Hammer to Fall and This Is the World We Created. But I mean, a lot of stuff some stuff from side one I just never cared for. So I don't know. Maybe it's the direction of that album. I don't exactly remember. Okay, next up, and okay, this one's a bit of a hot take for some people. I actually like this album quite a big deal. Not one of my strong favorites, but I dig a lot of the songs on this shit. Queen, A Kind of Magic. Let me show what the record is. It is Orange, Translucent. Right. Surprised it's not yellow translucent, but I think they wanted to do the color of the jackets except for Freddie. So, what this has is, oh shit. Kind of Magic's on there. One Vision's on here, which is a fucking great song. It's got 1 Year of Love, which I didn't care for. Who Wants to Live Forever, which is such a powerful song, all things considered. I know it's pertain to a film, but I mean, having not seen the film, I just think it's a powerfully executed song. It also has Princess of the Universe, which I fucking dig the shit out of, so yeah. But yeah, I mean, and yes, this is considered a soundtrack to some, but I mean, if anything, it's just some songs were in the film Highlander, as I am aware of. So, there's that. Alrighty. Queen, Kind of Magic. Good shit. Alright, next up. And this is the beginning of the end for Queen, because fucking A, like, this is definitely the period of Queen where when I start getting into this album, it starts to kind of hit a bit rough for me. The Miracle. And yes, this has the weirdest album cover of a Queen album I've ever seen. Like, what the fuck is this shit? But, aside from the cover, the material on this is good. Party and Khashoggi Ship I'm fine with, but The Miracle, I Want It All, and The Invisible Man really make The Miracle's first side pretty good. Now, side 2 has Breakthrough, Rain Must Fall, which is kind of a cool little jingle. Scandal's great. My Baby Does Me is kind of a goofy little song. And Was It All Worth It was a fucking badass closing track. And the color of the record is teal to match the album front cover color. But yeah, this was also at the time where this was recorded a couple of years after Freddie was diagnosed with AIDS. So yeah, So this was the period where Freddie was just doing as much as he could. And honestly, I also think this was also a period where Queen was kind of creatively making some good shit. So I think this one deserves a bit more of a closer listen than just a casual listen. All right. Next is Innuendo, which I think is one of the best albums by Queen. Yeah, I said it, one of the best. Yeah, a lot of people say it's Return to Form, but I mean, it was definitely a very creative, something like that. Anyway, so this is Turquoise for record one. By the way, that Teal album, that Teal record I just showed of The Miracle, that was Translucent. I forgot to mention that little detail, but yeah. All right, so that was record one. Record two, and maybe they could have picked a different color, but it's purple, but is what is. I think they could have, honestly, they could have gone with maybe green. Yeah, they could have went with green. Green, non-translucent, would not have been a bad choice. I don't know why they went with purple. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe there's a, oh my goodness, I'm like dropping fucking covers like crazy. This is not fun. Alright, so I'm going to try to put this one in because it's a gatefold. You know how fun these are to put in. Okay, give me a moment. Oh, come on, you bastard. Get in. Oh, there we go. Now I'm going to keep these sleeves in the box set, not in this crate here. No. Not doing that. Okay. Next up, and this is their last album, Made in Heaven. Okay, so I would say Made in Heaven is not for the casual listen experience. I would say in order to appreciate Made in Heaven, you would have to be a Queen fan. You would also have to understand what happened leading into the making, or you're just an aficionado of music. Like, I say this because if people were to listen to this as a casual listening experience, the intent of the album might be a little lost. I'm not saying that to like throw shade at people who just listen to music casually. I just think that you need to have a mindset with this album. For me, I always listen to this after having spun all the 14 previous albums. I think that is my preferred way of going through this record. Yeah. And I also did some research and found out, okay, what was leading into the recording of this, and yeah, and then and then listen to after knowing it, kind of helped me appreciate the album, what it was going for. And clearly this was the only Queen album that was released after Freddie's passing, and it is actually remarkable what was attempted during the release process of this album. And it's because there was some leftover recordings that Freddie had done that made it onto the album, and the surviving bandmates had to like add to it later on. So they were able to do a process where they had a drum machine or some sub device so Freddie can listen to it and then have the his vocals provided, even though he knew he didn't have much time left. Yeah, but now there's also a couple songs that were lifted straight from his solo material, although some of those songs were reworked. It's a Beautiful Day, Made in Heaven, pretty good. Let Me Live's a pretty good, I'd say a very peculiar track because it's got a gospel sound to it, which is actually quite fitting, given that, the album's title. Mother Love. that one is emotionally devastating. And it is such a moving track, and it's such a sad track. It's the saddest Queen song I've ever heard in my life. It's the saddest Queen song ever made, down to it. My Life Has Been Saved. I'm trying to remember what song exactly was solo material. I Was Born to Love You was a solo song, but it was reworked. Heaven for Everyone's good. Too Much Love Will Kill You. I think that might have been a solo song by Freddie originally. You Don't Fool Me's great. A Winter's Tale's great. And then, of course, It's a Beautiful Day reprise is just a banger of a closing track until you get to the ambient final track, which is just untitled, even though on the record it says 13. So, like I said, and the reason I'm going over track by track is because I'm kind of like articulating what is it about Made in Heaven that deserves to be kind of looked at to with a certain mindset. And also, so we have a evening, shot. Oh, give me a minute. So we have this evening like image here, which is great. But if you flip it over, daytime, which I think is a very nice touch. Oh, another thing I want to point out about Innuendo in this. So when Innuendo was originally pressed on vinyl, they had to shorten some songs as single versions in order to fit both sides, in order to make it a 1 LP release. The box set makes Innuendo a complete release. There's no single versions. It's the album as intended. But These Are the Days of Our Lives and All God's People were swapped. And apparently it was because of quality reasons. So, like, in order to get the record to sound as good as it will ever be, to make sure the pricing's great, they had to swap the two songs. Made in Heaven was also a 1 LP release originally, if I'm not mistaken, and some cuts had to be made. In fact, I think the last track, the untitled instrumental, I think was left out of the 1 LP release. This is a 2 LP release, so I forgot to mention about the release differences. So record 1 is translucent, like dark blue, kind of a evening look. Oh, there's a reason I may say it that way. I'll explain in just a moment. Right. And record 2 is clear. Clear as day. Yeah. They did a night and day contrast color design for the records on this. Yeah, very nice touch, I must say. Also, the labels are... so, record 1 has the label looking like this, whereas record 2 has the label of Freddie during daytime. So, that's another touch they did. I love that design choice. All right, so, I'm going to sleeve that one right there. And we're good to go. I got these records all sleeved up. Now I can start putting this away. But first, there's one last thing about that set. So, lastly, there is a book that came with the box set. And what this book entails is essentially all the records, all the details about the album. So, if you really wanted more details about each album, like the history of each album, like what the making process, you can read all about it in this book, which is a nice little additional piece of content for the Queen discography. And honestly, I've been a long time Queen fan since I was 10, so I had to go for that set. It was a no-brainer. And besides, did me good. I was able to focus on my Ghibli A&B while working on while listening to this. So, yeah, I was spinning Queen a lot back last year for that. So, yeah, I'm going to just go ahead and start putting these records away. I want to see how these all fit. I would imagine they would all go together. my goodness. Now the fun part is just all right. I should have had these outer sleeves from the beginning. I just don't know what I was thinking. I actually like how the outer sleeves feel. All right, so I got all the Queen albums sleeved. That was a process, and man, that took up a lot of time too. But hey, I'm showing off my entire collection, and yeah, this is like the debut collection video of vinyls, so why not make it as long as I need it to be? So okay, next up, letter R, and well, there's only one artist I have right now that starts with an R, and of course, it's a band I have. It's a band I'm no stranger to. I've been a fan of them for 10 years, thanks to an anime called Ergo Proxy, thanks to a friend recommended me to watch Ergo Proxy, and that's how I discovered one of the songs. And it's OK Computer by Radiohead. Long story short, I consider this one of the greatest alternative rock albums. It's got Paranoid Android, it's got Let Down, Karma Police, No Surprises. Yeah, like, the whole experience of this is just fucking great. Although the lyrics, I can hardly read them. Yeah, but standard black, nothing to see here color-wise of the vinyl. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and sleeve that. Gonna sleeve this bad boy. Yep. Alrighty. OK Computer. Radiohead. Alrighty. Next up. Hail to the Thief. Also by Radiohead. So, and here's the weird thing about this release. So, it is a 2LP release. It's 54 minutes, I'm not surprised. But here's the weird part. It's in 45 RPM, which is never indicated anywhere on the packaging or even on the label side. It confuses the shit out of me why they omitted that little detail. Because usually some other releases are, usually generally any release is pretty good at mentioning that, but this release does not, and they should have added that for repressings. I'm just saying. It would have helped clear up confusion. And this thing's torn. Just a moment. Why is this thing hung up? Okay. Okay. This one's clear. All right. All right, so Hail to the Thief. How do I feel about this? I like some songs. Man, there were some songs that could have been cut from this, and We Suck Young Blood is a song I fucking hate. And, yeah, I think this one's just a tad bit too long, but I still think that the cuts that are great are still fucking worthy. So, there's that. And next up, oh god. Do I really have to go... Do I really need to explain In Rainbows? God, this is like one of their best albums, without a doubt. And arguably, for some, it's some people's favorites. And again, I'm not going to argue with that. In Rainbows is fucking great. It's a 10 out of 10 album for me. It would have been my favorite if Paranoid Android wasn't on OK Computer. That was actually the tiebreaker, and this one's torn. This one's got a split end. So, fortunately, I got more. Alright. So, yeah, In Rainbows, every song on this is great. Like, you want to talk about no-skip albums? This is one of them. There's no song I would skip while listening to this. I let both sides play uninterrupted. That's how fucking great this is. Okay, we got one last letter left. S. Okay, so next up is Santana's Greatest Hits. And, okay, I believe I inherited this from my mom because she loved Santana as a kid. And this is another record I don't have an inner sleeve for, so give me a moment. All right, got the sleeve. Now I'm going to put that record in so I can actually have it protected. I don't know why there was no sleeve in there, but... All right. So, Santana's Greatest Hits. This has Evil Ways, Jingo, Hope You're Feeling Better. I haven't heard that one. Samba Pati, Persuasion, Black Magic Woman, Oyo Como Va, Everything's Coming Our Way, Si Acabo, and Everybody's Everything. I do remember spinning this, or at least... I might have spun this, but I don't remember. Anyway, I know this has single versions of Black Magic Woman, which is a fucking crying shame because it's missing that the last 2 minutes, which are fucking amazing on Black Magic Woman. And yeah, it's faded out before you get that badass guitar portion. But you know what? I'm going to keep this as is because, I mean, I guess you could say time capsule, I guess, inherited. So I'm not discarding this anytime soon. I just wish they could have done more with some of the songs. Like maybe let Black Magic Woman play all 5 minutes. That's an unfortunate thing they did for that release. But I wasn't the one that called the shots back then, so... But other compilations actually give you the whole damn song of Black Magic Woman. So next up, one of the best metal albums from the 2000s, Toxicity by System of a Down. I found this at Barnes & Noble, and yeah, it's a fucking great album. 10 out of 10 for me. Yeah, I said it. System of a Down, Toxicity, 10 out of 10. You damn right I gave it that rating. Because it is great. It's also got some relevant lyrics now, so, it's an album that held up. System of a Down, Toxicity. So let me go ahead and just stop that. And, yeah, I pretty much bagged everything except for one last thing. This one I saved for last. It's because I just got it recently. All right, last and certainly not least, the Cowboy Bebop LP box. Yeah, it's pretty much all the official soundtracks of Cowboy Bebop. At least the ones that they cared to release on vinyl. All in one nice big box. And even the title is embossed. I love that. Love that detail. I also love the artwork on the box. It's great. I love this. It's a great set. But alas, it's time for me to show it off like what's on them. Because I need I needed to kind of bag the jackets. This is the first soundtrack of Cowboy Bebop. It's got the opening theme. It's got Space Lion. God, that song's so good on in the anime. It's also got Rain, but not the one that Mai Yamane sings. They have Steve Conte sing it, and it went unused until the Netflix adaptation used it. Fuck that show, but I will say this, using that version was not a bad idea for the Netflix version. I'll give it that praise there. So yeah, Cowboy Bebop. soundtrack. Greatness. Greatness. Okay, next up there is Cowboy Bebop, Vitaminless, which is a mini album, which it does say it has 7 tracks, but there's actually an 8th one. Why did I do the devil horns? Or why did I do the metal rock? Some say devil, but some say the devil's this one. But why did I do the rock outside? Sorry. I was just... but there's actually 8 tracks. Black Coffee is actually the last track, but it's actually a hidden track. As I found out. I thought it was omitted. So... yeah, it's a mini album. So this thing only lasts like 30 minutes. And yeah, all these albums on the box set are 33s. Not 45 for the short ones. Which I'm a little surprised to find that out. Oh, wait a minute. I wanted to do it this way. Yeah, there we go. Come on. Go in. Go in. There we go. Yeah. Vitaminless. Alright. Next up. Cowboy Bebop, No Disc. Soundtrack number 2. It's got a peculiar front cover, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's supposed to be Faye. From the looks of it. Yeah, it is Faye, in a way. It's just someone dressed up as Faye, but yeah. But that's kind of a... okay, why am I having a hell of a time trying to put this in? There we go. There we go. Boom, 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 boom. Cowboy Bebop, No Disc. I don't know why it's called that, but go figure. Alright. Now this one. God, this soundtrack's good. Cowboy Bebop Blue. Soundtrack number 3. I'm talking, it's got blue. Words that we couldn't say is good. Adew's in there. Ave Maria's great. And, oh god, Road to the West, Pharaoh Blues. And, oh! The last track is not labeled on the back, but it is on the label for some reason. So, yeah, so they had Sea of Space Cowboys a hidden track, huh? Okay. So we're dealing with some hidden track shit here. Oh yeah, it's very funny because the final image of Cowboy Bebop, you know, the very last 5 seconds, the little epigraph at the... I wouldn't say epigraph, but the text on the bottom right says, you're gonna carry that weight, which is a reference to the Beatles. Abbey Road originally was labeled with a hidden track. So. Alright, next up. Cowboy Bebop remixes music for freelance. I actually have spun this a little bit. This thing's fucking weird. But the remixes seem kind of promising, so. But the radio talk parts, what the fuck is that shit? So yeah, I'll have to get used to this one, I guess. But I mean, it was designed as a remix album, so I mean, I don't know what else to expect other than, yeah, it's different. Okay, next. This is a mini album, and God, the cover on this is just weird looking. Ask DNA. This was released before the soundtrack for the film came out, so this was treated as a mini album or some sort. But yeah, Ask DNA. 5 tracks. One of them was in the soundtrack later, so I mean, it is what it is. This should have been just a what do you call it? This could have been a 7-inch for all I care, but I don't know. Maybe there was a reason they couldn't do that. Alright, and lastly, vinyl-wise, Cowboy Bebop, Knocking on Heaven's Door, Future Blues. This is the soundtrack for the film. With the exception of the last track, which is Rain, which is the version that you hear in the anime. Why it was included in this release, I have no idea. They really could have just added that for, I don't know, maybe the third soundtrack? Yeah. Your guess is as good as mine. What is going on here? Why is this not... Okay, got that bagged and all this is covered. And I guess the last piece I will show is the book that came with the Cowboy Bebop LP box. It essentially shows the details of each release. It also has the lyrics for some songs. The songs are in English. You have English lyrics, but there does appear to be Japanese lyrics, just so you can... So Japanese readers can, they can have the lyrics translated to them. There's also some lyrics in French, so whatever's in English, they'll have the lyrics in English. If the lyrics are French, they'll have them in French. If the lyrics are in Japanese, well, there's no English translation, so I'm stuck having to read it in Japanese. Now, there's also interviews transcripted, but they're all in Japanese, unfortunately, so I cannot understand what is being read. Although, my phone has a translate thing, so maybe I can just kind of scan the page and just kind of read that off, maybe that way. So that might be one way I can understand the lyrics. So yeah, that is the Cowboy Bebop LP box, and that is it for this vinyl collection video. I know I've been rambling about the albums I have in my collection, but I figured why not make this like a ongoing thing? I mean, I had some things to say about those records, and so yeah. So now I got space. I put some of the records in my crate. Now, oh goodness. Now I can just rearrange this bookshelf back there, and yeah, so finally this collection video is over. Next time I do a collection video, it is after I accumulate 12 more records. Yeah, I'm going to make this like every 12 records is going to be a video. Because why not? So anyway, if you have been watching this entire video, whether it's the whole thing in one sitting or piecemeal, thank you for watching. I know I've been rambling and all that. I guess I was just too excited to show off my vinyl collection, but hey, this is a hobby I am glad that I am partaking in because, I used to collect retro games. Retro games have gotten expensive, and I just cannot afford continuing that hobby, so vinyl collecting has been my jam since last year. Although I don't go too crazy on vinyl collecting. I just get records from time to time when I have the money to spend on. So that's my deal. Anyway, until next time, take care.